Alright. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Speletons. I'm Zinker. He's Derek. And this is Yooka Laylee, Impossible Lair with Speletons. I already said that. Whatever. Are hot dogs sandwiches? Let me give you some backstory to this. For when me and Derek eventually picked up this debate for a fourth time, I could have sworn there was already 2 episodes of it that went over this, but I guess there's only one. So the first episode, one of our first main series episodes when we actually started for real back in 2017, one of the few episodes of Season 3 that was actually aired, which was something about robots. I can't remember the exact name of it, and I just saw it too, but we were basically a robot trying to eat furniture while not getting caught. Weirdest stealth game.
I remember that game.
Yeah. And I was like, and I said to Derek, I'm like, so Derek, I have something that's gonna last us a whole episode. And he's like, okay, what is it? I'm like, our hot dog sandwiches. And he's like, I don't think that's gonna last us a whole episode. I'm like, Derek, do you think hot dogs are sandwiches? And he's like, no, obviously not. And I said, they are. Lo and behold, the debate lasted us about a solid, solid episode.
Here we are.
Here we are. Now, Derek was so certain that they were not considered a sandwich. But I went on the internet, pulled off the definition of a sandwich, and like, Derek, it's a piece of meat between 2 buns. That is, in fact, I don't think it needs to be a meat, but it just needs to be something between 2 pieces of bread. I'm like, Derek, that is, in fact, what a hot dog is. And he's like, no, it's one bread. I'm like, it's one bread, but with 2 parts of a bread on each side. And that was my conclusion. Derek said no. He might have had an argument, but to be perfectly honest, I don't remember it anymore. So, which works out conveniently for me, because I can just say, he doesn't have an argument. But then, Derek brought up this conversation again. I could have sworn in another episode, but maybe not.
I don't think it was. I don't think this was. I think this was. It was off camera.
Well, I think it was off camera, but I think we brought it up in an episode again, and we didn't air it. But Derek actually went through like the FDA and stuff like that. All I know for sure.
I went through their like food standards for what constitutes what.
Yeah, all I know is this was sometime after Season 3. So I would imagine it was Season 4 or 5 or so. Maybe even 6 or 7. That would explain why it didn't air, because I didn't end of the year dump anything for those seasons like I normally do. Thus, we actually just lost a lot of episodes. I'm like, screw it. I'm never uploading these. It's just never gonna happen. But Derek found that the FDA, in fact, does consider a hot dog to be a sandwich. And that was the settling conclusion.
By its definition, it's an open-faced sandwich, I believe, if I recall correctly. I might be not recalling correctly.
Yeah, that was another thing I used in my argument in the original one. What about a sub? Sub can just be one roll, but it is a sub is a sandwich, of course.
The sub is closed. The sub is closed. That was a.
No, it's not.
It's more or less closed.
Subway.
I mean, my Subway sub is closed. It's not perfectly closed. Well, it's not perfectly closed, but like, it displays like less than like it displays less than like a certain percentage of the interior. What's your point to bringing this up? Where are you going now? Let's not dwell too much on the past.
I mean, I just wanted I wanted to clarify this because I thought it was kind of weird. Because I was trying to upload I basically edited our hot dog sandwiches episode of CTR today. And it's going to upload soon. And in that episode, I was even saying, this is the trilogy, the hot dog trilogy. And, but then I realized that episode was gone. I'm like, oh my god, that's a piece of Speletons history people aren't going to have contacts for. Not that anyone looks to her past anyways to find stuff, but now they can't. Now there's no reference material, right? So I wanted to patch that up, Derek. I wanted to patch that missing stuff up. Derek claims they're no longer a sandwich again.
I don't claim. Okay, so they're by current definition. I don't think they are by current definition. They are in fact a sandwich. I will give that they are a sandwich. I don't think they should be. A friend of mine at Cosplay Snowfest did a panel. He did an hour panel on food taxonomy where he this wasn't an official classification system, but he came up with and formatted a food classification system to not only answer the question, is a hot dog a sandwich, but to also answer the question, is a Pop-Tart ravioli, is what constitutes what type of food.
That ravioli is a Pop-Tart, or is a tart. Just say.
So he had a whole I couldn't begin to describe it for in enough detail without having it in front of me, because it was very well thought out, very well detailed, but he had a definition system to break down different types of foods. He had it set up kind of similar to like a species, not, well, I guess not species, like a living creature classification system. So for the animal kingdom, how you classify animals by kingdom, phylum, genus, species, however order it is. I don't know the order. I don't remember the order off the top of my head. But how you classify things like that, it was kind of similar to that.
Right.
Where you don't just lump you don't just lump anything between or anything that's contained within bread into sandwich, where you rather you because you can break it down further than that, Zinker.
All right, so I got an argument to this. You can break a lot of things down further. You can break just about
and that's how you do where
to its individual thing. But there's a reason we don't do that.
That's the point of the system.
For a lot of things, right?
Well, we do Zinker. Everything we do, everything gets classified somehow and gets broken down into somehow or some form.
Right.
Even what you described, by calling a hot dog a sandwich. Not all sandwiches are hot dogs, but all hot dogs are sandwiches. It's kind of a similar meaning of that, where you could say it's one of the classification systems he had specifically were for pastas, where you could say all spaghettis are pastas.
Sorry.
All spaghettis are pastas, but not all pastas are spaghettis.
Right.
He also assigned a priority system to
Anyhow,
depending on the content of a food
about breaking stuff down, right?
Make it an ultimate. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You can break anything down until it becomes its own individual thing. In fact, everything is its own individual thing, even down to a hot dog. No two hot dogs are the same hot dogs, and you could break them down as an individual hot dog. But
you can say that's your hot dog and that's my hot dog, and that's
already enough. Yeah.
Way to break down a hot dog. That's breaking down a hot dog. Not all hot dogs are yours, but all your hot dogs are a hot dog.
Hold on, let me see. Let me get this. Let me place it with that, and then there was one that lets me slow down time. I can't get it yet. But, you can break anything down to its own individual thing. But the reason why we don't do that is because we crave efficiency, right? You can break down all hot dogs into the individual hot dog, right? But think of it as in, microwaving a hot dog. what do you think? What do you want a company to do? Do you want them to have an individual instruction on how to cook that specific hot dog? Should each hot dog get its own specific thing? Because they're all unique. I don't know if it's the best analogy.
So actually, Zinker, that was in his classification system. One of the classifications was how it's prepared, such as or like the recipe for it essentially. So like not all hot dogs are created equal, and not all of them have the same recipe. Is the recipe like is it like a fast food chain hot dog? Is it grandma's hot dog? Is it big corporation hot dog? They're made differently, and that was one of the classifications he had for how you can break it down further. Now, in general, it's not efficient to break it down like that, but should you find the need to, then you can.
Right. But so here's the problem I'm still having with this though. For this debate, right? This sounds all fine and dandy, but how does this make a hot dog not a sandwich no more? Well, yeah, you can break it down further, but that doesn't mean it's no longer a sandwich. You can still classify it as a big sandwich.
So Zinker, I think a good idea of how to break things, or a good idea of why you want to break things down to a certain, and like how far down you should break down different food groups like this is on a restaurant menu. Let's say you have a restaurant with every food ever.
Right.
How are you going to index it so people can find the food that they want? Like, like if you look at menus, they're often broken down by things like appetizer or like
hot dogs? Burgers are sandwiches too.
More likely, you do put you can put burgers next to hot dogs.
Yeah.
However, Zinker, it also depends on the context of so in an every food place. I don't know if putting a hot dog next to a I honestly don't know if putting a hot dog next or under sandwich is the best way to put it. I think in every food place that might be the best place. But what about just a specific what about just like a shop that specifically deals with things that are between or on top of some bread?
Well then.
Because you also like in addition, like you also have tacos.
Okay.
Is a taco a sandwich?
Well, yes. By definition,
okay.
A sandwich.
If I take a piece of pizza and I fold it, is it a sandwich?
But yes, it's a pizza sandwich. This is the thing.
No, it's a piece of pizza I folded.
Right, but it's a pizza sandwich.
Oh, no, it's a piece of pizza I folded.
the episode title has just become, is a pizza a sandwich? The conclusion? Yes. Zinker is
a pizza an open face sandwich? No, it's a
let's
pizza because pizza's its own category. Pizza's its own category of food.
And you just merge that category of food by folding the pizza together.
No, you just defiled its original intention by folding it. That's what I thought you did.
And now you made it a sandwich. And you can call it pizza sandwich.
It's not a sandwich, it's just a folded pizza sandwich. You could just call it tomato sauce and cheese sandwich too, and that would also not be wrong. Zinker, if your intent with the dough was to ultimately fold it and if you fold it and then you press it into like a panini, then I think that would be considered a sandwich.
Panini is a sandwich.
It's a closed sandwich. Yes, panini is a sandwich. It's a closed sandwich.
I don't know if I hit that check.
It's actually is the definition my friend used. A pocket is like like up to 90% of it, or 90% of it is enclosed.
So
a hot pocket is a sandwich.
Yes, it is a sandwich.
By definition.
Yes.
But it's if you can break it down further into a pocket.
Right.
By calling it that.
Okay, so Derek, and this is still the main problem that I don't think you're understanding. Yeah, you can break it down further, but that doesn't get rid of its previous classification. For example, a hot dog's a food, right? Just because you can break it down further isn't going to stop making a hot dog a food. You're not going to say, oh, a hot dog's not food, it's a hot dog. Because people are going to look at you like you're fucking stupid.
Okay, Zinker, how about this? If I have a sandwich, like a conventional sandwich, and I take the top bun off, is it still a sandwich?
No. It's
Why not?
toast.
Assume there's meat between the bread. I. That's not Zinker. At that point, actually, that's not even toast. That's not even. It's not toasted.
Well, yeah, I know. It's whatever. It's whatever you consider a toast to be classified
It's just a fucking
as.
piece of bread. It took me a second because I was angry to catch to see what you did there, but
It's toast. So Derek, you know how if you fold a pizza together, it becomes a pizza sandwich?
it's not. It's a piece. It's a folded piece of pizza.
Well, no, which is a pizza sandwich, or would be classified as a sandwich by definition of the word sandwich. When you
How
take
about
the
this,
one piece of bread off a sandwich, you've turned it into
It's
a
more
pizza.
pizza than sandwich, though. Zinker, it's more pizza than sandwich, though.
So?
So.
Well, it doesn't matter what its more is. Still a sandwich. It can even be
It's
both.
not a sandwich.
It is. By definition of a sandwich, it is substance between two pieces of bread. That's a sandwich. You may not
So
like
are you
it.
saying Zinker? Are you saying a hot dog is a pizza?
Only
if you
if
put
you
the hot-
only if you unfold the bread, Derek, and it's just a hot dog on top of a slice of bread. Then it's next time. Bye bye.